Listen to the music. It sounds good.
Who was
It's
that?
gone.
What show was that when he went? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay, if you are listening right now and you missed this because you don't have video yet, you do need to wait until we have video. Come back, look at our website on Facebook. We will
Carlton.
post this, and you can watch
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince, that's it.
From Philly, East Coast, where the roof rats come from.
That's right. That, you know what? I
that's
blame
the-
them.
All circle.
There you
Full
go.
circle.
There you
Full
go.
circle.
I wanted to ask you, there was a news story about a home that had, I think it was almost a dozen snakes.
Oh, my.
There was a rattlesnake with, I think it was 9 babies, 10 babies, something like that. Do you guys do any kind of snake removal?
I bet you that release was done on purpose to keep people from moving to Tucson, Arizona. That is my guess. That's the kind of stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's true
I-
because people read that and they literally think if I move there and I live there, I'm going to be surrounded by
Right.
snakes.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So,
Yep.
actually, I didn't hear that piece. I didn't hear that. But we do provide snake prevention. Honestly, this has been one of the more quieter years. In fact, I'll say this. Across the board, I was going to say snakes. It's actually been a fairly quiet year for snake, snake calls and so forth.
Right.
But really, across the board, this summer, the monsoons haven't been generous. It's been a fairly quiet, buggy year. Not overly buggy like seasons past. But anyway, the snakes are still out there, and the key is to prevent them from getting into your backyard. You really can't do anything about your front yard unless you have a block wall around the front of your yard. The front is open to the street, so there's nothing you can do. But on the backyard, people have these block walls or these beautiful picture fences, we call them, that wrought iron. And the idea is to go ahead and screen, minimum 2 feet, maybe 3-4 feet up, and prevent the snakes from getting into your backyard.
Right.
Snakes are protected, and they're part of the desert landscape. Frankly, back to our rat issue, they feed on rats, so they're natural pest control agents. The circle of life.
So good snakes are good.
Yeah, good snakes are good. Even rattlesnakes, for that matter. Listen, if they're out in the desert, they're doing life, they're doing their thing. We just don't want them in our yard.
Right.
The definition of a pest is anything that competes with man. So a snake will compete with man when you're trying to enjoy your beautiful backyard landscape, and a snake gets in there. That's a competition there. We don't want them in our yard. So when you screen these openings and put up these snake barriers, if you would, that should keep them out. Okay, it's not guaranteed 100%, but you're about 98, 99% there. This story here, that's bizarre. I'm not sure if it was an unattended home, vacant home, what the deal is, but that's a very unusual situation.
I think in all fairness, it was close to the house, not in the house.
Oh, okay.
I think it said it was in some brick. So
Yeah, that sounds like a decent nest, unattended for many years, and they can breed, and you got a number of snakes.
Yeah.
You were saying, Rigo, that when you get a call about the remediation of snakes, they got to make sure they know where the snakes are located. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so 2 thoughts on snake control. The first is, let's take an actual snake, a live snake. People certainly are going to be concerned, right? You get the shutters, right?
Yeah.
And so, the rule of thumb there is if you see a snake and you do want to get it removed, you've got to keep an eye on it. When you call, whether it's Rigo Pest Prevention, which we will come and remove a snake, or you call really good companies like Animal Control, Animal Experts, forgive me, the great company, Animal Experts, Critter Control, another good one. They're going to say, hey, do you see it? Because we're not going to come out and start tromping through the desert or, spending hours in your yard looking for it. So if you see a snake, keep an eye on it, make a phone call. Much quicker response. If you're staring at it, someone's going to come and get it, okay? If there are pets and children involved, now we've got a really serious concern there. The emergency responders will still respond. They're not typically going to respond anymore, unlike the years past, just too many false alarms.
Right.
But if there is children and pets involved and they are not on a call, they will still respond, okay? The other aspect of snake control is prevention, and that's where maybe you had a snake, you saw a snake, it was removed, whatever, or you're just concerned of getting a snake. That's, as I mentioned earlier,
Right.
where you would go ahead and have a company come and do some sort of professional screening, keep them from getting in your yard.
Rigo, you said something important, that they have to monitor it, because if you have it in your area and you call for you guys and you don't know where it's at, it could be curled up somewhere right next to you and you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, that, or it left a yard, or it's burrowed in the ground, or, and then we're just there for hours looking. Very time consuming. You spot a snake, you've got to get on it right away. If you really want that peace of mind and protection, you see a snake, make a phone call, keep an eye on it until someone gets there. That's the proper way to do it.
And what happens to the snakes once
Well,
they've
snakes
been
are
caught?
protected, so they're relocated. And the rule of thumb is that they're relocated immediately adjacent to that home. That's their natural environment. And so there are regulations involved in terms of where to relocate that snake.
Relocation.
So your neighbor's getting it. Is that pretty much what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
We'll put it right in front of that house. They call me.
Maybe
if it's right.
maybe this house that you mentioned, all the neighbors were relocating their snakes. No, out in the desert, they find an immediate desert area and let the snake go. And honestly, that's where the snake really should be, because that's where his food sources are going to be.
Right, unless you have roof
Unless
rats,
you've got
and then
roof rats.
you've got.
Yeah. So
then you're like a smorgasbord for the.
we got it all here. Welcome to the desert.
Yeah, we do.
So can I jump backwards again, since we're talking about the roof rats again? If you have a flat roof, are you still going to have to deal with roof rats?
Absolutely. Flat roofs, there's ventilation vents, there could be other type of openings. A flat roof has a bit of a void. So if you're standing inside your home and you look up at your ceiling, you're staring at a ceiling made of sheetrock. Above that is anywhere between an 8 or 10 inch rafter, joist, if you would. And then from there, you've got your roof. So there is a void above your ceiling. And so roof rats could get in there as well. And by the way, that's really problematic. A typical, sort of pitched roof with
Right.
an attic,
Uh-huh.
much easier to manage. Those flat roofs, very, very challenging should you get something in that void.
So prevention will be key if
Prevention's
you have a flat
everything.
roof.
Prevention's
In
everything.
general, but with a
Yeah.
flat roof especially.
Absolutely.
We want to remind Rigo, how do people get a hold of you? 'Cause I'm sure they're listening. It's like, man, I need to talk to somebody right now.
We're getting so many calls right now. When that article hit, what was it, down Midtown? I can't remember the name of the community, but there was quite an outbreak. We started getting phone calls. So free inspections, and most companies provide this for you. But our number is 520-744-6177. That's the phone number. And you could always look at us on the really cute website, rigopest.com.
Or go to your social media.
Hey, maybe not. We're really dragging there. We need to get with Josh, Ray.
You
Most-
need
most,
people
uh,
to get on your social media
Yes.
and start posting and, get
Right.
involved on
Right,
there. Help
ask
you guys
your
out.
questions.
I'm still
there.
using smoke signals.
There is some good information on your Facebook page, though.
There is.
It
There
is. It's
is.
there.
We try to put some good, intelligent pest control information.
Now that we scared you a little bit about with snakes and rodents, let's talk about homes. So, we want to thank you for staying with us. And if you're interested in selling or buying your home, or if you have any questions concerning real estate, please call the Johnson Smith team. I'm Ray. I can be reached at 520-904-7711. Sandra can be reached at
520-850-1725.
And Danielle can be reached at
520-373-6864.
And we are the Johnson Smith team at Indy Realty.